Grandfathers. Grandfathers are the new element in the new daddy's home, because most of us return. Not all of us, but most of us return, and then it's about Christmas time, a real Christmas this time, not like last time when Brad made Christmas in the middle of spring. I think it was, but yeah, real Christmas, and it's about all the families coming together, including the grandfathers, who happen to be two incredibly different people. Griffey's born. He's padding around, he's walking, and almost talking, and their whole, they have a baby now, so that's something that's different for them. And then, instead of 2 kids, there's 3, and also just sort of the kids are getting older and really having to deal with the idea of the blended families and what that means and what it's doing to them and what that makes us have to respond to as parents. I think this one it's very sweet, and it's very funny, and there's a lot of kind of crazy things that happen in this one. There's just so many more people in every scene, which is really fun for us because we all get to work together a lot of the time, most of the time. And we're in this beautiful set here that's a giant cabin, and we're playing pool, or we're playing, bubble hockey, and we're all doing those things in between takes together too. But it's really fun sort of family feel. And I when they go to this cabin, they sort of end up in this cabin all together. It's so beautiful and kind of idyllic, and at the same time it's total chaos. So there's a lot of fun stuff within that. There's this scene where they both come down the escalators, which sort of mirrors the first movie, and Dusty's dad is very much Dusty, and they're sort of an exponential version of whoever their child is, and Mel is sort of exponentially cool compared to Mark's character in the first one, and John is exponentially nice compared to Will's character in the first one, and I think I think those guys are sort of perfect to show that in this one, and they're both, I think Mel and John have such totally different energies, and they sort of mirror Mark and Will's energies, and I think that is what's perfect about them sort of playing off each other. I think Dusty's life is very different. I think his life is probably the most different because he's actually settled down. Sarah couldn't get him to do that, and he was sort of never there before, and now he is always there. He's really into co-dadding with Brad, and I think they've made a 180 since where we saw them last. Towards the end of the first movie, you sort of see them come together, and I think they've been really working well at it for past. Griffey's almost 2 now, so it's at least 2.5 years, and I think that his life, he's much more settled down. I think he's really working at being a good dad, and he's doing a good job. I think Don is a much more open and loving and more regular grandfather for them. Like, they see him on the regular more. And I think, Kurt is almost like a mythical figure. He's this astronaut who they've heard about but haven't seen too much of. And so when they both show up, I think there's a little bit of hesitation for the kids because they don't totally know him. And, with kids, it takes a little while to warm up. But pretty soon he breaks through that, and I think they take to him pretty well, for better and for worse. The first movie was so much fun, and then watching the film, I just loved how sweet it was, and then being able to do a second one, which I never imagined would actually happen, and being with everybody again has been so great, and I think everybody feels really comfortable with each other, and we all feel really relaxed, and we're having a really good time, and I think it's a really wonderful thing when that happens, and to be on such a fun movie, and to be on such a big comedy. And, Will is about as nice and as talented as a guy that there could be. And it's a pleasure. It's a total pleasure. Brad is all heart, which is, you can't help but love that about him. And I think that he always tries to empathize, and he always tries to understand what's happening. And he has zero sense of entitlement at all. And I think that he is just He's just a really sweet guy. He's the type of dad you would look back on and think, wow, my dad was, so sweet. And I think the relationship with his father and, the relationship between Don and Brad is so sweet. And I think that's exactly what he wants for his kids. Mark is so much fun, and he's so sweet to me, and just they're so talented to watch the two of them and to be in the middle of the two of them doing all the crazy things, and then to have the four men and be in the middle of that is really fun. So I couldn't be having a better time. I think Mark's a great actor, and to share the stage with him and Will is really fun. Sarah's first husband is Dusty. And she had two beautiful kids with him, and then she divorced him and married Brad, and they had one child together now in Daddy's home too. And so the idea of those families blending together was hard enough, and then add to it some grandfathers. And the idea of, families coming together for better or for worse, no matter, you can't choose your family, and you certainly, you may be able to choose your partner, but you don't get to choose your in-laws necessarily. I think, that's the whole idea of extended family and putting everybody under one roof, no matter, even if you get along extremely well, is still going to be challenging with a lot of people under one roof, especially during the holidays. And then add to it, sort of all of us have a crazy personality. I had never been to the Berkshires before. It's beautiful. I have to say my favorite thing about being up there was that we all stayed, all of the actors and Sean and John and our producers, we all stayed in one hotel together that was like a bed and breakfast, an old mansion that was a bed and breakfast. So no matter where we went, we all ran into each other. There was one place to eat and one entry, and it was very beautiful and somehow very quaint. I think it's a really fun holiday movie, and it's filled with, it's a family movie that's filled with people of all ages. You have multiple generations. You have comedy coming from all of those angles and people, and it's a sweet story about a chaotic family coming together, somewhat begrudgingly, to do something for the kids, and of course, nothing goes as planned.
Hey, Vale here with some cool movie facts on the efforts some actors go to create the characters they play. For the role of Roger Kint, Kevin Spacey glued his fingers together in the film The Usual Suspects to give his left hand the feeling of paralysis. To prepare for his role in the film The Mask of Zorro, Antonio Banderas practiced with the Olympic fencing team in Spain for 4 months. Natalie Portman, for the role as Nina Sayers in Black Swan, trained with former New York City ballet dancer Mary Helen Bowers for up to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week for over a year ahead of shooting the film. Adrian Brody, for his role in The Pianist, gave up his apartment, sold his car, and moved to Europe with only 2 bags, so he could get familiar with his character's discomfort. He also went on a crash diet and lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks, weighing 130 pounds at his lightest during shooting. Whoa. Okay, so if you want to watch more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you receive the videos the moment they are online. Bye bye!